The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Herod the Tetrarch heard about all that was happening, and he was greatly perplexed because some were saying about Jesus, "John the Baptist has been raised from the dead." Others were saying about Jesus, "Elijah has appeared." Still others said about him, "One of the ancient prophets has arisen." But Herod said, "John the Baptist I beheaded. Who then is this whom I hear such things?" And Herod kept trying to see Jesus. The Gospel of the Lord. Just a little correction about timing in this gospel. Herod the Tetrarch is actually the son of Herod the Great. Herod the Great was he was the king of Israel, Herod the Great, and he was an old man when Jesus was born. So we're talking about his son, Herod the Great's son, who inherited the kingdom from his father. There are a lot of depictions about Herod Antipas in this gospel that has been in significant movies throughout the years. 1953, there was a movie made called Salome, in which Herod the Great is played by the old famous actor Charles Lawton. 1961, there was a movie called The King of Kings, and Herod Antipas is depicted in that movie. 1965, the blockbuster movie from Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, the greatest story ever told. Herod was in that movie. 1977, Jesus of Nazareth. You can find clips of that movie on YouTube. 1973, Jesus Christ Superstar. Parenthetically, that movie has Herod depicted in a way that only could come out of the 1970s. And if you don't mind my saying so, I think that the director of that movie did a brilliant job in depicting Herod Antipas in that movie. And then the movie that we probably all are familiar with, The Passion of Christ, Mel Gibson, that came out in 2004. Herod kept trying to see Jesus, the gospel said. Well, in the latest movie of that list that I gave you, Mel Gibson's The Passion of Christ, Herod is played by an actor that does a great job in it. Jesus is brought to Herod, his palace, and Herod is in the midst of throwing a rather licentious party for his court. So when Jesus arrives in the movie, Herod Antipas is highly intoxicated and demands in a drunken stupor, he's tripping all over things in the movie, he demands that Jesus perform a miracle for him. True to the gospel, this is true in the gospel, Jesus refuses. He doesn't refuse, he just doesn't say anything. And so after the silence, Herod mocks Jesus as a fraud and sends him out of his palace back to Pontius Pilate for execution. Herod was curious about Jesus, it says. You know, Jesus has been a source of curiosity throughout the ages. I mean, people are drawn by the curiosity of his miracles. But for us, Jesus is not a curiosity, not at all. And for us, the miracles are not the mainstay of Jesus' ministry. The mainstay is that it's very clear that Jesus is the source of good relationship. He's the source of our relationship with God and the source of our relationship with one another. And so as